last couple years I've gotten into canning, and I've done a lot of canning videos on this channel, but I've never done a quick pickle video. And I've just learned how to do a 12 to 24 hour simple pickling video. So I thought I'd share it. Okay, so in a perfect world, you could totally grow everything that you need out here in your garden, right? This year I've had an issue with cucumbers. I haven't been able to grow many of them. I grew some, and I've already pickled those, but I haven't grown a lot like I really wanted to. So maybe in the fall I'll be able to. In this video, what I want to show is the simple pickling recipe that I have found online. I've kind of tweaked it a little bit, made it mine. Y'all, let's do it. Okay, for this recipe, I'll put the entire recipe down below in the description. But y'all, this is really simple. Get your cucumbers, get some dill. I went ahead and got some pickling spice just to make it easier. Now, if you don't want to go buy your own pickling spice, all you're going to need is some dill seeds, some mustard seeds, some coriander seeds, and some black peppercorns. Mix those together in a ratio of 1 tablespoon for each of those into a container about this big. You can actually go lower than that. In this video, what I'm going to show is this, and I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of this pickling spice blend in this container, which is a quart. You're also going to need to do your brine, which we'll go over here in just a minute, and some garlic. Other than that, y'all, that's really all there is to it. And you need a refrigerator. Okay, so right off the bat, let's go ahead and start our brine right now. If you're doing multiple jars, then you would want to up this recipe right here for your brine. But since I'm only going to do this 1 jar for this video, I'm only going to do 1 cup of vinegar. Actually, just a smidge more than a cup. Right there's the vinegar, y'all. And it's just a simple distilled 5% vinegar. And then we're going to do 1 cup of water. Just like that. Now I'm also going to add some salt. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of salt. And that is it, y'all. You can get this going. I've got this on medium heat right now. Yeah, don't be hating on my stove. I actually used my stove. This is a working house. This is not a set. While that's going, let's go ahead and get the cucumbers ready. Like I said earlier, yes, I wish I'd been able to grow all these in my garden, but I wasn't able to. So I went to the store and got some cucumbers. Now this little tool right here is awesome. I got this off Amazon. It's going to be down in the description below, and it's also in my Amazon store. But this is how we're going to put those little waves in the cucumbers or in the pickle slices. You know, look at that right there. So cool. So we will be right back once I get all these cut. Okay, now that we got all these cut, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the garlic ready. And for a cup this size, y'all, I'm going to do 3 cloves of garlic in a container like this. If it's a smaller container, I'd probably just do 1 clove. But being that this container is so big, I'm just going to go ahead and do 3. Again, you all can totally tweak the recipe to whatever way you like. Now you could totally just peel it and put the garlic in, but I like to break them up just so the juices are readily available to start getting into the brine. Got the dill here. Now I had been growing dill this year, but because it's June here in the Houston area, all my dill plants are they are not producing right now. So I just went and bought some dill. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, I'm into it. Now we got everything done. I have already cleaned the jar, so the jar is fine. Did that last night. Now, here's one thing that this recipe is different than, say, canning or water bathing, is you don't have to do any of that for this recipe. Because what we're going to do is just simply put them in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours, and then they're ready to eat, y'all. They will last about a month in the fridge once you've done this recipe, and you know, they're good to go. Now, if you want to tweak the recipe a little bit, you could add chili flakes, you could add peppers, you could add whatever else you want to change the flavor profile of the pickles. But for this recipe, and for everyone that I've given these pickles to, they have all said these are just fantastic, great tasting pickles. And those are coming from pickle nuts. People that are like pickle, like everything could be pickle. They love this recipe, so that made me happy. And this is so easy, y'all. It takes about 15 minutes to do all this. The hardest part, honestly, or the longest part, is just simply cutting up the cucumbers. And I mean, how cool is that? It's the little things that make me smile. All right, the brine should almost be done, and then we could go ahead and start rocking and rolling. Let's check the brine. Okay, so I'd say probably another few minutes just to get that salt dissolved a little bit more. Okay, so while we're waiting on the brine, let's go ahead and load up this jar. So once the brine is done, y'all, we're ready to just pour it in, sit back, and we're done. Okay, y'all, with keeping it real, I did not realize I was not recording. So we're just gonna leave this in here, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all. So what I did is I already went ahead and put in all the garlic, which is 3 cloves of garlic, some fresh dill right here, and then 2 tablespoons of this pickling blend. Now you can do any pickling blend you want, or like I said earlier, you can make your own. So now we're just gonna pack in the cucumber slices. And just like when you're canning or you're water bathing something, you wanna pack in the vegetable as tightly as you can into these jars. One, it eliminates the air pockets that will come or be trapped in here, which you don't really want. And 2, it just gives you more vegetables that you're pickling or you're canning or you're water bathing. So pack everything in as tightly as you can. That's my advice. And it looks like I'm gonna have to cut just a few more cucumbers, which is fine. I cut some into these little wedges just so I could wedge them down in to some more places. All right, put one right on top. As you can see, I went right to the top of this jar, which you would not do if you're canning or water bathing. For those, you always leave about a ½ inch of headspace from the top of the jar. But since we're doing this quick pickling, you can go right to the top because we're not water bathing or canning anything. So maximize all the space you can in your jar. That's what I advise. Now the brine should be done, and yeah, we're about done. Okay, the brine is done. Now, I always use these little things. You get them whenever you're canning. And it just helps you pour the brine in. So that's all we're gonna do now. Just pouring in the brine is the last step here. And you do want the brine to be very, very hot. Now, I have the glass jar sitting on that piece of plastic. You would not want to have the glass jar sitting on the countertop because you're putting in this boiling brine mix. Not saying that it would crack the jar, but why take that chance, right? So we're going to fill it right up, almost right up to the very top, just like that. Now we're just going to put the regular lid on. And I never crank it down. I always get right to where it stops and then go just a little bit more. And that's it, y'all. In 12 to 24 hours, this will be ready to eat. Look how good that looks. Got all the brine starting to already move to the top there. The air bubbles are moving to the top. Now, if you want to, you could totally take this back off, let all that air out, and then seal it again. But these are just fine in my opinion. Now remember, you did just put in boiling hot brine, so you're gonna leave these out until they get to about room temperature and then put them in the refrigerator. But let me show you a finished product. So I made these last night. Now you can see there's two different color rinds of the cucumber in here. The top rinds are from the store. These bottom ones that are the lighter green are the ones I actually grew this year in the garden. But there is such a good dill flavor in these pickles. It's not overpowering. And I could totally go up on the spices if I wanted to. I could add some chili flakes, some jalapeno peppers, habanero peppers, whatever. Totally change up the flavor profile. But these are so good, y'all. You've got to give this recipe right here a chance. Especially if you like canning. This is not technically canning, but this is the easiest recipe that I can even imagine. And it's so good. So good. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend. As I walk out here to turn off the water, so I'm totally watering the garden right now. That's the video. This is such an easy recipe to do. And I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but it is so easy. Seriously. All right, y'all, as always, if y'all enjoyed this video, do me a favor, share it, like it, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Y'all take care. God bless. Continue to shine bright and harvest hard. And I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Bye.